Paul Wesley and Star Trek: Strange New Worlds brought the real Captain James T. Kirk back to Star Trek. Wesley portrays Lieutenant James T. Kirk, the younger version of the Captain Kirk originated by William Shatner in Star Trek, the original series. Lieutenant Kirk is a recurring character on Strange New Worlds, and Wesley previously played two different alternate timeline versions of Captain Kirk on the Star Trek prequel series. Paul Wesley not only brought Kirk back to Star Trek's prime timeline, but he also brought back Kirk in his prime. William Shatner's Captain Kirk died in Star Trek Generations, which hit movie theaters in 1994. Kirk's demise was the canonical end of the captain of the Enterprise who was the centerpiece of Star Trek, the original series and the 6 movies that followed. 15 years later, Chris Pine was cast as the younger Captain Kirk in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, 2009, a role he played for 3 movies. However, Pine's Kirk existed in the alternate Kelvin timeline. In Star Trek's prime timeline, Kirk was dead and hadn't been seen since Star Trek Generations, until Paul Wesley. Paul Wesley's Kirk in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2 was the return of Shatner's classic captain. James T. Kirk returned to Star Trek's prime universe. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, marked the long-awaited return of the prime James T. Kirk. Paul Wesley portrayed an alternate reality Captain Kirk, who had to reset the broken prime timeline alongside Lieutenant Lauren Noonien-Singh, Christina Chong, on a time travel mission to 21st century Toronto. At the end of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Lieutenant Kirk officially debuted when Lauren contacted him through her PADD. As Kirk was stationed on the USS Farragut. By contrast, Paul Wesley infused Shatner-esque qualities into his alt Captain Kirk in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This Kirk was more roguish, had a playful sense of humor, and was a genuine romantic foil for Lauren, which are qualities Wesley carried over into Lieutenant James T. Kirk in his next 2 appearances in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2. Lauren became a better character because of Kirk. Kirk is the catalyst for Lauren's character evolution. Lieutenant Lauren Noonien-Singh is an original character introduced in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and Christina Chong quickly made Lauren into one of the prequel's most endearing and fascinating faces. Lauren is a descendant of Khan Noonien-Singh, Ricardo Morn-Albin, and she is defined by fear of becoming like Khan, as well as the trauma from surviving a Gorn abduction as a child. Lauren closes herself off from personal interactions and counted only Lieutenant Commander Una Chin-Riley, Rebecca Romin, as a close friend. However, Lauren fell in love with Captain James T. Kirk in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Lauren then tragically lost Kirk when he was killed a Romulan temporal saboteur named Sarah Adelaide Kane. Yet Lauren's all too brief time with Kirk inspired her to change her paradigm. Lauren now looks to become a more open person, and the possibility of a romantic pairing with Lieutenant James T. Kirk exists in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3. Lauren's personal evolution is an exciting prospect, and it's directly tied to Kirk. Kirk was missing for years until Strange New Worlds and Paul Wesley brought him back to Star Trek. Chris Pine's Kelvin timeline captain was Star Trek's only Kirk. Between the death of William Shatner's Captain Kirk in 1994's Star Trek Generations and Paul Wesley coming aboard Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2 as Lieutenant James T. Kirk, Star Trek's prime timeline soldiered on without Kirk for an astounding 29 years. Star Trek: Discovery reintroduced a younger Lieutenant Spock, Ethan Peck, in the prime timeline in 2018, but Kirk remained dead since Star Trek Generations in the prime timeline until Paul Wesley finally brought back a youthful version of William Shatner's Captain Kirk.